And welcome back to Carolina and Company Live. You know, we love to have authors on the show when they're putting together a book, and because it's interesting and they can't get a lot of publicity sometime in the area, but we like to promote them. And now we've got Patty Wain Smith on here with us now, and she's a Surfside resident. How about that? And we're going to talk about a book. It's called A Letter to a Friend, the story of abuse in America. All right, Patty. Tell me about it.
A Letter to a Friend, The Story of Abuse in America, is a Christian domestic violence book that takes the reader on a psychological journey of an inspired survivor who becomes stronger and wiser after accepting God's gift, a gift she's had all along. It's gotten good reviews. David Zinman, prize-winning AP journalist and Newsday reporter, Dr. James Pearson, our own Webster University graduate professor and former director of Mental Health Center, and Leah Leuthauser, who's a licensed professional counselor and has counseled hundreds of domestic violence victims.
All right, now how did this come about? What what made you do this?
Well, I had studied psychology and had even gotten a degree in it, and was working Parents Anonymous hotlines, and found myself in an abusive marriage. When I got out, I discovered my friend was also in an abusive marriage, and when I tried to help her, her husband cut off our friendship. She stayed in hers, and years later, when I had a few minutes to talk to her alone, I discovered that the damaging effects were so apparent on her and her child from staying in the domestic violence situation. And it was a direct contrast to the effects of what happened to me and my child after we left, where we were healing and actually flourishing. So it broke my heart. I sat down and started writing a letter to a friend, and when I decided to turn it into a book, there were three things that I wanted to make sure that I did. The first thing was I wanted to tell the story from a position of love for all parties, and that includes the abuser.
Right.
I talked to clergy, and this was important to them. The second thing I wanted to do was to bring all the resources that I had used and put it in one book, which was the psychology resources, Christian resources, and also the domestic violence resources. And then the third thing I wanted to do was create a book that was not only for the victim, was for anyone that cared about them, a tool that they could give the victim.
Well, I tell you, in a situation like that where there's abuse in the husband, I mean, I can't deal with that. I'm sorry. I'm not that type of person, and a man that's like that, I don't consider that a man. I'm sorry. Where can we find this book?
Okay, locally you can find it at Litchfield Books in Litchfield Beach, or you can go to AmazonBooks.com, type in A Letter to a Friend, The Story of Abuse in America, or put Patty Wain Smith in. Make sure the Wain is W-A-I-N. Or you can go to my website at pattywainsmith.com.
Or they can call me up and I'll tell them how to do it. Patty, thanks so much. We appreciate it. We do appreciate it.